and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and try to release a new review every day from Monday to Friday. Today's movie is Mindcage. It's written by Reggie Kiyohara III and directed by Mauro Borelli. It stars John Malkovich, Martin Lawrence, and Melissa Roxburgh. Story follows detectives Jake Doyle, played by Lawrence, and Mary Kelly, played by Roxburgh, as they try to catch a serial killer who is copying the style of The Artist. The Artist is a serial killer that Jake helped put away years ago. When they get stuck in the case, Doyle and Kelly visit the Artist, played by Malkovich, and ask for his help in catching this upstart copycat. If this plot sounds familiar, that is because Mindcage attempts to recreate the magic of The Silence of the Lambs. It's got a female detective with a traumatic childhood that even kind of resembles Jodie Foster, a calm and omniscient serial killer who toys with her, and they work together to catch a serial killer. It follows most of the story beats of its inspiration, and Malkovich even tries to play his character in a similar way to Hopkins' Hannibal. John Malkovich as the Artist is easily the most interesting part of the movie. Every time he's on screen, he takes center stage and puts on a calm psychopath routine. He says insane things in a soft and delicate manner. He knows the answers to everyone's questions, and he kind of comes off as omniscient. He has a powerful presence on screen, and his slow and methodical way of speaking lends itself to a creepy vibe. Martin Lawrence's Jake Doyle is a veteran cop, tortured by the death of his partner. Lawrence doesn't put a lot of passion or emotion into the role, and spends most of his time staring with a serious look on his face. The movie doesn't give him much to do, but during the few scenes where he is called to muster up some emotion, Lawrence puts on a stunted performance. Melissa Roxburgh as Mary Kelly gets a slightly larger range of emotion than the rest of the cast, but her performance also comes off as a bit stunted. She seems to be trying, but during her breakdown scene, the tears don't seem realistic, and she just looks a little mopey. Not like somebody remembering their deeply held trauma. Outside of the main three actors, no one else gets much screen time. Most of the extras are fine, with Robert Knepper and Chris Mullinax putting on decent performances as Sheriff Owings and the homeless man. The story doesn't do the cast any favors. They visit different crime scenes and spend a minute or two at each, just long enough for one of the detectives to spout off a Sherlock Holmes-style speech about a piece of evidence before they rush off back to the police station to check in with their captain. Then Detective Kelly meets with the Artist and attempts to get information out of him while he plays a twisted game with her. They repeat this cycle at least 3 times throughout the film. Only the scenes with Malkovich are even remotely interesting. The rest is a basic cop drama. They never focus on the murders or the details of the victims. They're all killed off-screen, and only one is kidnapped on-screen. They also hand-wave their way through all of the investigation parts of the story. They find evidence with ease and always know exactly what it is and where to look next. The whole time, the soundtrack is trying to force whatever emotions it can out of the scenery. It plays a plethora of dramatic tension-building boilerplate tracks throughout the investigation at seemingly random moments. Cops gathering evidence? Dramatic music. Cops driving somewhere? Dramatic music. Cops getting a coffee? Dramatic music. The tense music is so overused that if you tried to play a drinking game with it, you'd be blacked out before the 30-minute mark. To top all that off, the film has one of the stupidest twists of all time. There's zero setup for it, and it comes out of the supernatural left field. The movie did have a supernatural theme in the background, but it was presented as superstition and not realistic. The explanation is a throwaway line that only creates more questions. The cinematography is one of the only redeeming qualities of the movie. It's made up of standard mid and close-up shots that are cleanly executed and center the characters well. It's not exciting to look at, and there aren't any exciting events, but it was easy to follow. Mindcage is a poor knockoff of a great film, and has one of the dumbest endings of all time. Aside from Malkovich and a few extras, the cast does a mediocre job, and the soundtrack is so over-dramatic that it becomes annoying. There are much better attempts at recreating The Silence of the Lambs, such as the Yang arc in Psych. 4 out of 10.